Well, welcome back, third graders, to art class this week on our second/third week of closure. Last week, you guys should have watched the videos already on this Google slideshow to get your face drawn to a certain point. So last week, we left off with our Picasso faces after finishing our eyes and our ears, neck, shoulders, and stuff. So today, we're going to finish the rest of our faces. So by the time we're done with class today, your picture is going to look like this, through a video that you will follow step by step, just like before. If you are not done with those other steps from last week, that's your homework now, and you have to get this done with this video today, okay? On this Google slide over to the left are all of the steps. I've hidden some of those when you're in presentation mode, so you just know what you need to do each week if you're keeping up with the art lesson. If not, you have to do it a whole different way. Mom and Dad will maybe have to help you, okay? So before we get going on our art project day and drawing our faces, let's do a quick review of Pablo Picasso and who he is as an artist, what kind of artwork he did through his art project, okay? So let me grab my PowerPoint to remind us about Pablo Picasso. So remember, this is what our project will look like when we are done in a few weeks, where we've finished and we've done our face that we're finishing today. And then next week, I'm going to show you how to divide your face up and how to color it to make it look like these cubistic faces for Picasso. Because remember, Picasso started that famous art history period called Cubism. So let's do a little bit of a reminder first on Picasso's life. We should know these facts by now from the book that we read, Getting to Know the World's Greatest Artists, either a couple weeks ago or just last week. Some of you just read it or listened to the video for the first time. So let's do a quick review on Picasso's life. So remember that Picasso was from Spain. And remember later, it's important that we know that he lived during the Spanish Civil War. And remember, a civil war is where two sides of the same country disagree on something, and so they come and they fight together, or they fight each other. So we're going to talk about that in a second. But let's review his art styles he did before Cubism, which he became so famous for. So remember, the first art style he did was called the blue period. Remember the color blue? We've heard the expression, I'm feeling kind of blue, which means I'm feeling kind of down and depressed, not feeling too great. And remember, when he started to do his blue period, he had just lost one of his very, very good friends. So he's feeling very sad, very down. He was missing him. So he did his blue period, where in the pictures we see a lot of blue tints, blue colors, and his people look very sad, very down. We see our old guitarist kind of looking down like he just has kind of given up on life. We see that his clothes are ripped. We see a lot of emotion. Now remember, we move into the rose period where Picasso meets his wife. He marries her, has a family, and he's much happier with his life. And we now have the rose period. We see a lot more rose colors. Remember, he loved to draw circus actors, so we see that in some of his paintings here. Then we move into his very famous art history period, not a style, but it's a whole art history period called Cubism. And remember, Cubism at the beginning has like three components, three parts. One is the color, one is the images, and one is how he draws the images. Remember, at the beginning of Cubism, that his colors are very neutral. They're those earth tone colors, browns and grays and blacks, more like the earth colors. Also, at the beginning of Cubism, we look at his images and it's really hard to see his images. We see that there's maybe a face there, there's maybe a hand. It's kind of like, again, that Picasso has painted this beautiful picture on a piece of glass, and he drops the piece of glass and he throws out some of the pictures or the pieces of shards of glass. He's like, I don't want those, and then he rearranges them into this kind of abstract look, okay? And then remember, then no matter what time in Cubism for Picasso, Cubism always uses geometric shapes, those squares and rectangles and triangles in the picture, okay? But remember then, Cubism does change over Picasso's life as he continues to work through Cubism. He starts to bring more colors into his cubistic pictures. We start to see the images a little bit better, but no matter what, we still have those geometric shapes in an example of our next kind of transition in Cubism of Woman in Green. Then we have this other famous one we learned about, the three musicians. We see our three musicians playing clarinet, guitar, and singing vocals. We see a lot more color, but again, we still see those geometric shapes that make up the three musicians. And then probably one of his most famous paintings, remember the painting of Guernica. Remember to think about that Spanish Civil War and what was Guernica? What was it? I want you to think about that. What have we learned? And if we were sitting in class right now, you'd be raising your hand and you'd be telling me, but right now I want you to think about what is Guernica, okay? If you got it, great. If not, reminder, Guernica was a town in Spain. And why did Picasso paint this picture? What motivated him to paint this picture? Remember, Guernica, that town in Spain, that during the Civil War, it was bombed. And it wasn't like a military base or any reason that it was bombed to like stop war and things like that. It was just a town that was bombed and thousands of innocent people were killed. And Picasso was so furious about it that he painted this huge picture called Guernica. Remember, it's bigger than the whole size of the front of our art room. It's taller than the art room wall, probably as wide. Notice that he still uses cubism to get his point across, his anger and frustration, but he uses just black and white and gray colors to kind of show this idea of war is black and white. There's very little gray in the middle, but you know, sometimes those horrible things happen in the gray in the middle. We see the agony of the mother holding her child. We see the people that are running for their lives, the animals that are all hurt during this bombing. So remember the famous painting of Guernica. So that's a quick reminder of Pablo Picasso's life. One last fact I want us to remember is that he, again, remember, he was born in Spain, and then he lived a long life. He died when he was, can you remember? When he was 92. So he died just of old age. That is quite old. And he had a long life of creating beautiful art pictures. And the one thing to really remember about Pablo Picasso is that he started that whole art history period called Cubism. So let's get on to our project of finishing our faces. So what you need to do right now is you need to run wherever you have in your house your drawing that we started. Now, obviously, it's not finished yet. We just have, I think we just got the eyes and the eyebrows and the neck done and the ears. Today, we'll finish the nose, the lips, and the hair, okay? Boys, I will be showing you more how to draw the hair like a boy, too. I already erased that on this picture, but you'll learn all those steps in the next video, okay? Before we go on to the next video, this is Holy Week in our church, and we obviously go to a Catholic school with St. Patrick's Catholic Church. Just a reminder out to you and your families that this being Holy Week, we have so many amazing Facebook live streaming for you and your family to kind of gather together on this Holy Week. Remember, over on the St. Patrick's school page, you can watch Father John and his stories, prayers, stories, and cookies with Father John. Monday, Wednesday, and Friday of this week. He's not going to be doing it Thursday and Friday because we have masses going on and other special things. So Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, go on to our school Facebook account with your family and watch at 7 o'clock p.m. Prayer, Stories, and Cookies with Father John. Especially on Tuesday. There's a special book that I actually gave Father John, one of my favorite books that he's going to be reading for you guys on Tuesday. And then Thursday night is Holy Thursday. There's 7 o'clock Mass over on our parish website. 1 o'clock on our parish website on Friday for Good Friday. 7 o'clock Stations of the Cross on the parish page that will be live streaming. Then Saturday night is the Easter Vigil at 8 o'clock. And Sunday morning, join us on Facebook Live on the parish page for 8:30 Easter morning Mass, okay? Celebrating Jesus' resurrection, our most important part of our entire year, remembering Jesus and what he did for us. So right now, go get your art project. Obviously, besides your art project, you need a pencil with an eraser, kind of going to be helpful. So bring all that back, and once you get back, then you can hit the space bar and go on to the next slide. Now, the next slide actually shows you a link of how you can go directly to YouTube to watch my video of how to do those steps. Sometimes that's a little bit easier because you can quickly pause the video by hitting the space bar out on the YouTube video. But you can watch the video right here. You just have to right click. It's a little bit harder on our Chromebooks. But you can right click on the middle of the screen during the video and it will pause the video here in Google Slides. Otherwise, follow the link on the next slide. If you don't want to use that link, hit the space bar twice to start the video. So have fun finishing your faces today. Then show your parents. They'll be impressed with what you have been drawing for our Picasso faces. So enjoy this beautiful week. Get outside, do that hiking and that walking and all those fun activities Mr. D is having you do. Tuesday is supposed to be 73 degrees. So get outside and enjoy God's beautiful creation in this beautiful spring we're having. Take care, third graders.